Today's CAD training is on the Project Explorer. Project Explorer is a fairly new um, concept, tool, however you want to call it. It really allows you to um, get into more of the civil data information without using the actual drawing itself. Now, that being said, you still need to have the drawing open. They kind of work hand in hand with each other. All of our CAD files can be found in the SCAD training monthly CAD folder. So if you need to come back to it and look at these things and review the information, that's where you'll find it. So, like I said, Project Explorer is a modeless dialog box that allows you to view, compare, and edit civil 3D objects. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, what's modeless mean? That's a great question. Modeless means that it can be opened and viewed on like a second screen, and it doesn't stop you from actually doing work in your drawing area. So we'll show you what that means here shortly in CAD. And all of these civil 3D objects are available to be compared, viewed, and edited within uh, Civil 3D, the Project Explorer. Some of the reasons to use Project Explorer would be to check out all the tabs, see how things correspond to each other. We'll go through all this stuff pretty much in the demonstration. So let's get into it. So here's our basic Civil 3D. I tried to create a surface from LiDAR with an alignment, a corridor, a profile, things that we normally would have in our drawings. Now, and this is Civil 3D 2025, so should be very similar. I believe in 2024 they started to actually install Project Explorer as part of AutoCAD. If you're using something earlier than that, you actually had to install it separately. So I really would encourage everyone to try to upgrade, or if you have questions about upgrading, let me know and we'll get you up to the 2025 software. Project Explorer has its own little button right in this area. And when you click on that, the modeless window pops up. Now, since we're doing this presentation, everything's going to be on one screen, but you can actually move this independently of your CAD. You can resize it to however fits best on your screen and go from there. Let me see. I'm going to try. There we go. Let's get half of it over there. Ooh, that really squishes the drawing on the left. All right. So right away, you'll see there's a lot of information up here. Across the top are tabs for each type of Civil 3D object that can be viewed, compared, or edited within Project Explorer. So let me see if I can adjust everything so we can kind of get an idea what's going on. All right, so the first tab, you'll see in the notes, pretty much we're only going to be using, at this point, alignments, assemblies, sub-assemblies, corridors, point groups, surfaces, feature lines, parcels, pipe networks. There's other items, but we haven't really expanded into those objects with our workflow. But the essential ones are here. So when you open up your Project Explorer, it goes to the alignment. I have one alignment in this drawing. You can see I can use my mouse button, a middle mouse wheel, to zoom, pan in this area. It gives you a rough idea of what that alignment is doing. So in profile, and this is generated automatically, you can see down below it has a vertical scale of 1 to 10. You can change that so however you want to view it. You can change the other ideas on here. Other criteria, how you want to view your actual profile. Across the top, you'll have how to create different alignments, create profiles, all these different tools. And you also have a compare option. Now, since this is the only alignment, we don't really have a way to compare it to another item. So that's your preview window. Your next window down gives you a little bit more information, and you can see, okay, the PR center line with the alignment profile name has these 3 items profiles plus my proposed. So these are all based off the LiDAR with a 25-foot offset left and right. Now, anything that you see that is purple means that you can double click on it and change the properties. So in profiles, there's not a lot of things that you can change. Uh, you can change your style, things like that. But down below, we can also see in their third, more detailed section. So if I click on my PRCL, you'll see all this information changes down here, and we can see exact information. Right now it's giving me information every 10 feet along that profile. Now that's a little bit overkill for what we usually do, but it could be helpful when we go in to start doing stakeout, or we need to be a lot more precise. You can also change, that's the calculated station. So there's 203 of those. You got your layout entities, and you can see that whenever you click on these things, it actually changes. Mine up here is highlighted yellow because I have my tangent selected. If I go to my parabola, you can go right through my vertical curves, and you can actually see what information or what item object it's being described as. It shows you what the K value was, how it was laid out. And again, you can go through each one of these settings and get information and review the information from them. Now in this case, it does not look like there's any purple text down here, so this is not something that you are able to edit at this time. Civil 3D or Autodesk is working on improving and making more items editable through the Project Explorer. So you may want to keep an eye on it, just keep track of it, see how things are advancing. Opening up on and placing this Project Explorer on your second screen will help you to just see what's going on, get your information, and go from there. Now, some of the items that you can do, so I'm going to go back here and let's say go back to my entities, my first tangent. If I have that highlighted, wrong button. You can actually go, and if I tap on some hotkeys, so if I hit the, now I forget which one it is, I believe it's S, it will actually select that object in your plan view. See, the grips have turned on for the proposed center line. So I'll escape out of that. I can go back into here. If I go down here to layer, I should be able to hit select on that, and see it doesn't do as much down here. So you can do your overall, there's your offsets. So it's selecting those items as I go through. I also have a profile over here, and it will do the same kind of thing. And work you through basically visually in your profile what is being seen. You can also, let's say, if you tap the Z button, it will zoom to, so if you have a whole bunch of alignments or objects that you need to, and you're not sure exactly where it is, you can hit that and it will zoom right to it. So that's alignments. You're getting there. There's still some things that need to be updated, but it allows you to have a very large overview of what is going on. Next tab over is your core or your assemblies. So assemblies, most of these are standard already in our template. Not too much you want to do here. You can go through, and if you want to make edits on a whole bunch of them at one time, you can do that. Now you'll notice that these have red text. The red text means that there could be some sort of issue. Now, basically all of them say that they're not associated with any corridors because I've only used this first one so far. Um, but you can go in here, you can edit the items, you can see what part, what sub-assembly is what. You can make additions or changes down here. Um, and that's wholesale though. So if you have multiple cartways or anything like that, multiple roads using the same assembly, that would change all of them in all places if you do this. So just be aware that it's a quick way of changing things, but also it changes everything overall. Assemblies we probably won't be using as much. They're already part of our sub assemblies are already part of our assemblies. So there's some editing that might go on in the future, but we for the most part right now, we're not going to need to do too much. But you can see right there, hey, we got curbing, basic curb, all these different things here that you can go through and actually get a much more granular look at what is being defined for each of those items. Now this is where we're going to probably start seeing a little bit more of a use between alignment and here. This one's going to be the corridors. So right now it shows the corridor. I have one corridor, the proposed centerline one. It shows you the cross section of it. It's going to go in here. It's going to say, hey, you can change which uh, assembly you're using on it. You can change the stationing. You can do a lot more information. And you can also see that, hey, here's all your quarter lines and your property sets. So you have to remember that there's tabs in multiple places so that you can find the correct data that you're looking for. Point groups, again, not going to do much. This drawing does not have any point groups in it currently that has points, and that's why you're seeing the red. But this could be a way to go in here and change the way that the style that is being shown in your plan quickly. But again, it is an overall type of change and it affects all items that are associated with that point group. So surfaces, here's our surface. So again, we have red text, meaning that there's nothing in it at this time, and we have purple text, which means there is things that we can change. So if we just hover, like right now, the proposed surface does not contain anything because it is all within the corridor surface, which is this one. When I click on that, we're going to get a ton of information with triangles. So it's going to be quite messy. But hey, if I want to find that exact place, I can highlight it and it will zoom right to that point. You can see right here that one seems a little off because it's 150% or 150,000%. That's probably not right. We can go to that point, we could highlight it, and we can kind of figure out what is going on there. Why is that triangle point causing an issue? Let's see. The next one across here that I think will be of interest is feature lines. Unfortunately, I don't have a feature line in here yet, but this can be very useful. I'll just hurry up and create one for us here. Maybe all my little icons are small. Let's see. There we go. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. Put that on the correct site. Let's see if I can find something that's a little bit. Okay. So now we have a feature line. Automatically, it shows up over here in Project Explorer. We have 4 different vertices. Right now, they're all set to 0, and they all have purple, though. If I hold down the Shift key, you can select them all, and then you can right-click, and you can say you have different options to how to set elevations. So, you can set different ways of doing it. It's just extra ways to manipulate and change how things work. So if I want to also go into my elevation editor, it's off the screen. I'm just going to set all the points to be the existing surface elevation. Yeah. Again, that all gets changed here. Um, so it looks like it drops down quite a bit and then really drops down. If this was like a face of wall or something like that, well, there's your profile also. Let's say you don't want that to be, you know, variable like that. You can actually change all that. You can, again, highlight. Let's say we want a constant grade between these two. You can right click on that. Um, Set those values, and now it's going to be a constant 166 all across there. One thing that's nice to note, if we go way back up here to the compare to, you can change from none, and we want to change that to be LiDAR. Now that will show how your LiDAR matches over here. It drops down through there, and it also shows your elevation out through there. So it helps to, let me zoom out a little bit, there we go. So this way you can kind of say, okay, if this was a wall, you could say, okay, now I need this wall to be at a certain elevation. How does that compare? Am I close to matching existing grade? Over here I am, over there not so much. You can start throwing in some extra points, vertices, and adjust the elevations appropriately. So again, if I select on that, I should come down here and I can change this to be, okay, let's say that's going to be 5 feet lower. So double click on it, opens up the box. And there you can see it has changed. So again, it's another way to get an overall quick idea of what is going on in your drawing down to a very detailed level. Um, oh, so you can see it makes adjustments on the fly. If you're somewhere way out of way, again, you can always select it, hit Z, and it will zoom right to where you need to be. So there's feature lines. Those are just some of the things that you can do within Project Explorer with feature lines. We have parcels. I don't have any parcels in here, so we won't be doing anything there. Next, we're going to jump over to pipe networks. This one may be the most useful in our workflow at this time. Currently, I have a PR Storm, not much in it. I got 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structures. You can see down here it has 5 structures right there. It has the pipes, the pipe runs. We can compare this to surface. Let's compare it to the proposed surface, see if I got some problems. A lot of problems on this one because I didn't really set anything up. So this is a good example where we can go through here and you can see instantly that, hey, these are not right. So we can always right click on it. We can have all these different options here. Let's say set reference surface. Let's see if it's set. Proposed. Okay. But that's not bringing it up. Oh, notice it is not purple, so you cannot change that from this area. That's interesting. With the pipes, you can get the pipe runs. You can see each one of them shows you the elevations. It shows you the end inverts. So those are all incorrect. But that's a quick way of seeing how it's going to be. Let's see here. End structure, start structure. It gives you all the information. So this is a good way to go in. If you need specific information about that pipe, you can go in there and find it quite quickly. And again, you can also do pipe run. So let's say I thought I had 2 of these with good elevation on them. you can actually pick the pipe run. Let's just do this one. That's going from structure 25. And you can look in through here and say, okay, we got pipes going in there. And we can go through, it's 20, inner width 24. Boy, I don't remember having any, oh, that's the box, the structure set. So you can see I just kind of put those in there right now. Go down to these two. 28 and 29. And again, you can probably move these around however you think would work best for you. Hopefully it will let you grab everything and you know, just kind of, you can swap parts, you can set your rules. It's a way to go in and actually grab a lot of information at one time and change it. That being said, it's also sort of dangerous because you can make all those changes quite quickly. Like the pipe names, well, here's what we've been using this for quite a bit. This is the description. There's no way in our template currently to actually define this description to be what we want it to say in the charts. So if you can highlight all of them, you can right click and you say set description, and let's say we want this to be modified. Oops. Type C inlet with, you know, bicycle safe grate. So we can put that information in once and it will change it to be that text. So when we do a chart, it will show up properly with its description. Previously, we would have had to go through to each one of these and cut and paste that description in. But you can go through quite quickly there and change that. You can also change the style. You just have to be careful doing that. Again, because of what you have selected. So on your profile, it's the same kind of way. I'm going to, let me see, profile properties. Let me put the pipe network in here. Wrong one. So we're going to put those pipes in our profile. It's probably going to really mess up our profile with those 0 inverts. Sure did. But again, you can see how the profile shows up. You can change these so you can select them. And if I hit on the S, it should zoom, or I'm sorry, the Z, it will zoom to that point in the plan. It doesn't zoom to it in profile. And these pipes, for some reason, went way to 0. So that's a real quick explanation of how Project Explorer could be used. I don't know that there's a lot of us have been really using it much. Again, it's a nice little window to have open on your second screen so that when you're doing the finer adjustments, you can see how things are being changed. So far, the biggest use I've found for it has been for pipe networks, getting all the pipes relabeled, making sure they're looking correct. If there is a issue with your alignment, it will pop it up over here. You know, you'll see those exclamation points pointing out some sort of design flaw going on there, or some types of information that is not properly being represented. Okay, let's see. Now, A lot of additional information can be found. I linked to 3 different YouTube videos. Um, the first 2 are straight from Autodesk. They are very good. All 3 of them are roughly 30 minutes long. I would recommend everyone to check these out at some point. First 2 are very good. The third one, I would say run it at like 1.5 speed because it can be quite slow by the presenter. But they do cover a lot of information, a lot of examples, similar to what I've shown, but in a better, a little bit less hiccupy. Um, and they can show how those things work, how they can be used, and give you a good idea of how you can start utilizing Project Explorer to edit, review, and compare Civil 3D objects. I think that's all I have for today. Um, Again, if you have any questions or concerns, or you want to be updated to 2025 Civil 3D, please let me know. We can get you going on that. Um, one good reason to upgrade to Civil 3D 2025, let me show you that real quick, is the GeoMap has been updated to include um, additional GIS Esri information. So you can see here, oh, no you can't because I'm not showing it. There you go. So I typed in GeoMap. You now have additional options to select from. So before our aerial, if we turned that on, this is what it would have looked like. Now we also have imagery from Esri, which is typically a little bit more updated than the aerial. We also have street maps, which are quite nice. We might be able to start utilizing some of this for our location maps, uh, dark modes, light modes, an open street map. That's another new option, which gives you street names, the buildings, and other important information that we may be able to utilize during our location maps or just for information in general on the projects. So that's one really good reason to upgrade to Civil 3D 2025 is because of the GeoMap additional options. Again, we still have the hybrid versions. So just want to take a look at that. If you think that might be of use to you, let me know. We'll get you updated. With that, I think we'll stop for today. Thank you very much for attending. And again, if you have any questions, just give us a holler, and we try our best to answer what we have. Have a great day.